why don't you tell them your name, what you do, or like, spiritually and
Yeah,
all
you
that.
can start. You can start.
Okay, I'll start. Okay, so my name is Sandra.
Oh my God.
I I own or I am I don't know, content creator behind Curandeira de Vinha, which is a Reiki channel which also
Mm-hmm.
does tarot. I am going to open up my separate tarot channel though. That's gonna come. And yeah, I do Reiki videos
Oh my God.
mostly, but I also do group
Mm-hmm.
coaching on my channel too to help people break through any patterns or cycles that they're stuck in. And yeah, that's how I
Mm-hmm.
provide a little bit of a spiritual practice and healing.
Hello, my name is Camilla, but I go by Susana Corpi in my social media, where I post on Instagram and on YouTube tarot videos for you, short ones and also long videos. And I will soon be starting to post Reiki videos and videos about different topics just for you related to spiritual practices, the spiritual realm, and everything that I feel called to share with you. So that's
Oh,
it.
nice. See, you made it. Okay, so
Yay!
we're going to talk today about money because it's a popular topic and we all love money and we all need money and the world revolves around money basically. So
Basically.
Camilla and I are going to talk about how we perceive money, what our beliefs are right now, what they used to be, what we've maybe struggled still sometimes integrating, and about like our experiences about like how we manifested money into our lives. Maybe some goals about like what we want to change into the future if you're up to, I don't know. It's
Yeah,
basically
perfect.
just going to be a hangout and you guys can watch and just take notes, basically.
Yes.
Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah. Okay. So, like I said before, I wanted to sometimes ask you questions, but then it will be very, I hope it flows naturally.
Yeah,
It
I
will
mean,
flow and it doesn't have to be a very structured video.
I
So
don't think so. I mean, we're both like culturally pretty much the same, so it won't be strict.
it won't.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely not. So, what do
Uh-huh.
we want to
Okay.
start with?
I want to start with asking you,
Hmm.
what is abundance for you?
Abundance for me. Okay. So for me, when I hear abundance, I usually my mind goes straight to money because I'm materialistic like that a little bit. I
Yeah.
don't know. Abundance could be very different things, like not only money, but also about like the stuff that you have, the things you
Mhm.
experience. But abundance in general, to me, means quantitude in a way, like a lot of things, if that makes
Mhm.
sense. Not having, well, it's basically the opposite of lack, We always focus on like what we don't have versus abundance is what you have and how much
Mhm.
more can be there, right? And for me, yeah, right now it is mostly money because everything else I kind of like have already, I have the love for my friends and family and all that, which is also the abundance
Mhm.
of having overflow, basically, I guess, as well, too.
Yeah.
That
Mhm.
makes
Yeah.
sense.
It does.
What
It
about
does.
you?
Um, it's crazy because I try to put prosperity in a box and abundance in a more broader
Hmm.
perspective. What I consider to be abundance is freedom. So, of course, money is one of the things that gives you freedom, but also like having the peace to like enjoy the things that you want to enjoy. Because maybe I'm stressing myself over getting a lot of money or hustling a lot.
Hmm.
And I sometimes, yes, I can make a lot of money, but then I don't have the time to enjoy these things, or I don't have the time to really. like being able to look at the sky and say like, oh, this is a beautiful day. Like you can see, I think it's a more of a lens that you learn how to put the lens of abundance in front of you. So like you see around a lot of beautiful nature, a sky full of stars, and noticing that the universe is already abundant already gives you a sense of, part of the abundance itself. I think that can be very freeing, but in my opinion, it's also like the freedom to control your own routine, like being able to, yeah, I just said freedom and control in the same line, but again, it's like you can do this stuff, like not being chained to something.
Control over your own life is form of freedom in my eyes, you know.
Yeah,
So it
definitely.
does go hand in hand. You know, you can't have one without the other, basically. But you have
Yeah.
to find the perfect balance, what works for you, I guess.
Yeah, and it's not doing like, oh, I will do everything that I want all the time. It's like, no, you have to be structured to get where you want to be. But um, it's more of this sense, this very light approach,
Hmm.
and this type of lens that you apply, I think.
Beautiful explanation.
Thank you very much. I love yours too. But I think I consider yours, in my perspective, a little bit more of prosperity.
Yeah. Yeah, it does make
Yeah.
sense. It does fall a little bit more into that, but it is a broad
Yeah,
spectrum
it
in
is.
a
It
way.
is. Yeah.
Oh, we covered that one. What about like money in general? Like, I have written here like the attract more money, you have not a fixed income.
What do you mean? Like
So
if I journal or
no, basically it's what I mean by that is the perception that people have that they think they will always only earn that amount of money, you know.
oh
For
yeah.
example, the work job, most of the people have a 9 to 5. Most of the people earn a
Mhm.
fixed income every month, but it does not have to be, you know. Just because you
Yeah.
signed that contract with your company, and let's say you earn, I don't know, like an average, depending which country, would be between like 1 or 2K a month, right?
Yeah.
And
Hmm.
then they think, oh, well, I will always only be living with like being able to pay my bills back to back with no extra overflow
Yeah.
and all that. But in actuality, if
Hmm.
they're open for the possibility of more money, they could have money come in through a relative, a lottery ticket, a side hustle, or whatever it is.
Yeah. Yeah. It's all about comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
I think we are going to talk a lot about this here because
Yeah,
like when you say that, okay, I'll be earning like 2K a month and that's it, that's how it is. You just like you can complain about it, but you also don't feel brave enough to break out from it. You don't like,
exactly.
but you can, of course, if you want to.
Which
It's scary.
most people want to. That's the issue. A lot of people want to earn more money, but they conform
Yeah.
with what they think they have to conform. Because also a lot of people think like there's limited amount of money. Not everyone can be rich, which
Yeah.
is not true. I'm already telling you guys that if everyone
Yeah.
who's watching this video wants to be a millionaire, you can. There's
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
because that's the thing. And also, a lot of people don't know that, which money is energy. It's just that, it's just energy.
Exactly.
And a
Exactly.
lot of people put
And
it on like such a high pedestal where, like, oh no, it's the scary thing where it's just energy. The way you kind of can repel it, you can attract it.
mhm, exactly. And I've been seeing results of this lately. Like, the more relaxed I am, the more it flows. It's crazy.
You
And the
want to
more
know
you
why?
like put the focus on like, oh my God, I don't have enough. I don't have enough. Help me, please. Oh my God, what is happening? What is happening? When you like focus on doing your stuff, and
Hmm.
again, it's like not over stressing about how money you're gonna make, how much you're gonna make, like this is specific amount, this is specific amount. The more you try to like, and it is complex because you can try to achieve a certain amount, but not to be over fixated onto that because your brain is like, I still don't have that. I still don't have that. And the more you put that out, like you get further away from that quantity that you have. I think being all open, because sometimes you can even do even more than that. It's something that it's crazy. It's crazy, but you have to be open to the possibility as well.
Exactly. And you also something that helped me learn with what was the name? Amanda Francis is the one that introduced
Mhm.
me to all that. I mean, I knew about manifesting more money already because I was already in the manifesting community, but she is very money focused in her teachings and all that. And so you do shift a lot about like the money mentality. And one thing that she said literally shifted my whole perspective, which is money is a tool. That's the only thing you should have. That and that money is your friend. It's here to help you, not stress you
Mhm.
out. And that literally removes so much pressure because you're like, you you feel less, um, what's the word? Not pressured, but less guilty about wanting more money because she's like, you need
Oh yeah.
money to have a good life. Otherwise, how will you support other people in your life, right?
Yeah.
And it is, if you're constantly in debt, if you constantly struggle to pay your bills or have food on your table, you
Hmm.
will not be in like a good vibe or a good person to
Yeah.
help, for example, care for your family. Be a good
Exactly.
friend because you're always on edge, you're always negative and all that. So you having more money makes you more, as you said, when you're more relaxed, you attract more. And that it makes you even more relaxed. So you
Hmm.
automatically shift into a more calmer state and you get things probably done better. And you're just
Hmm.
overall on such a different frequency that allows you to do more from like a good place and not from a place of scarcity. And that
Yeah.
is literally the point. That's the only thing we want, with money. To have, as you said in the beginning, the freedom to do what you
Hmm.
want and also be good, feel good within your own
Exactly.
skin and be there for the people that you love.
And I totally agree. And the connection that we sometimes have, what we were talking about before, like, oh, I'm going to work more because this is the only way that I can to reach where I want to go. I always say that I want to travel more.
Hmm.
And sometimes you're like, oh, I should do this to get this, and then I can travel, and then you let everything very structured and very like tense. But if you're open, like 2 weeks ago, my friend just like, do you want to visit the next state with me? Like, we're gonna go one day, come back to the other, and that's it. Like, is it the perfect trip that I wanted to do? No, but I will enjoy that opportunity to travel. He is gifting me that.
Yeah,
I wouldn't be going if it wasn't for him. Like enjoy the small things, and that's something that I've also learned is like Oh, I want to be, visiting the beach, and I don't know, uh, any beautiful beach that, this Brazil has beautiful beaches, across the northeast of the country, and I want to go there. I want to go there. But how is a possible way for me to get that vibe and that mentality during my daily life? And that's something that is really important. What if I go to my backyard and try to enjoy what I can see, the sun, the sky, the beautiful things that have there, and enjoy it right now?
Mm-hmm.
It's not the perfect place that I want to be, but I can bring a little bit of that vibe, of that relaxation, of that pleasure of seeing beautiful things into my daily life,
Yeah.
Like that's very, very important because sometimes we can get too fixated into certain results, certain things that you want to get to achieve and stuff like that. And again, the universe can bring you so much more or so many different things, if you're open to it. There are other opportunities and possibilities for you to enjoy something as well. So that's
Beautifully said.
very beautiful.
No, but it is true because it is tied to like what do you assume, you know,
Yeah.
the assumptions that you make on a day-to-day basis. As you said, for
Yeah.
example, traveling, you need money to travel, you know,
uh
and travel expenses, it's not only booking the flight or renting the car and all that, it's in the vacation itself. You're also wanting to experience stuff and all that. And a lot of people don't even allow themselves to think that far, and
Exactly.
your assumptions literally build your reality, right? So
Mhm.
you have to start assuming that you have that money to be able to book it, that you have that money coming in, or say, like, oh, I don't know, I want to go to Paris next month. And then I'm going to
Mhm.
have to assume that I'm going to have that money come in so I can book that or something like that. But it's literally about how do you think about money? How do you speak about money? It's not only enough wishing more money, it's literally how do you interact with it as well, but also shadow work, journaling, changing your thoughts, literally. Because I don't know
Exactly.
how religious your family is, but for example, my grandma, one of them,
Mhm.
she always she prays every single day, right? And
Okay.
she prays, for
Uh,
example, for stuff like health and all that or money. But when
mhm.
she always like prayed for money, she would then, when she was still here, living close to me, this lady would have almost like 1,000 euros in her little, not purse, her wallet, right? And then
Mhm.
open it up and be like, look, there's nothing, there's barely any money. And I'm like, do you know how much you have in there right now? You have enough for like groceries for the whole month. And the same thing with her bank account, when she would look at
Mhm.
the numbers and she's like, there's not a lot. And
Yeah.
there's
Yeah.
six-figure numbers, like, yes, she worked a
Woman,
lot. She
look at
worked a lot.
that.
Yeah, I mean, and
Yeah.
that's the thing. She prays for more money, but then she complains about not having enough. And you
Yeah.
cannot attract money if you're constantly in a lack mentality. She could have probably tripled that in the last 10 years if
Yeah.
she would have appreciated all that money that she had. Yeah, she worked hard for it. She worked three different jobs in her youth to
Yeah.
accumulate that, which is also the stupid assumption. You have to work more to earn more.
Oh, yeah.
Something we have
Mhm.
all heard our life, which is not true, by the
Of
way,
course.
guys.
Yeah,
Literally,
it's
I made
not.
money, for example, yesterday while brushing my teeth. Okay, so it does not have to be that way. Literally, I was brushing my teeth, doing my skincare, and I was affirming for a certain number this month, and I literally had like a payment come through. So You do not have to work more.
See, see, that's perfect. That's
But
amazing.
yeah, that's the
Congrats.
thing. It's literally about like, thank you. What do you assume about money? Which I think like we
Yeah,
can kind of like go into the next segment about like
yeah.
assumptions, like the assumptions you and I,
Hmm.
for example, had previously about
Hmm.
money. And
Yeah.
at this point in life, right now, what are the new assumptions that we have or are starting to integrate?
Yeah, that's a good one. I just want to say something that
Yeah,
may
sure.
start the topic. It's the thing about assumption and just saying things out loud. I think there is a very subtle difference, but not so subtle in the practice. Because, like, sometimes you can say, well, um, I'm going to manifest X, and then you say it that every day. But deep down in your heart, in your gut, you feel kind of guilty about it. You feel
Mm-hmm.
nervous about it. You feel, weird about it. And I would like to hear from you, your perspective into how you can change that, or perceive this difference better. Because for me, for example, there's an amazing example. There's a place that I want to visit. It's my friend moved to another state, and I've been wanting to visit her for a while. And I always think like I want to visit her, but I need to have money for the flight and stuff like that. I really want to go to her place. And then one day I had this dream, and I've been journaling for a long time. So the more I journal, this is very, very important. This is really important because, like, uh, the more you journal, especially about your dreams, it can have so much meaning, so much
Mm-hmm.
meaning. It can be very random, but if you really think about that and you kind of learn how to interpret the random things, which aren't random at all, even if they really seem random. I noticed that there was this dream that I had where I dreamed that I was going there, and I dreamed that
Mm-hmm.
I went there, but I was extremely guilty and stressed because I hadn't planned for the trip. I just like I grabbed my things and flew there. I didn't let her know. And I think I told my boyfriend, but like I was feeling like he's going to be angry, but he wouldn't at all.
Mm-hmm.
So you see, like in that dream, it really showed me the very subtle and hidden things that had inside of me that possibly blocked me to really go to her place and visit her because it's a beautiful place, etc. But you see, journaling can be a really helpful tool for you to realize, like, oh, I've been assuming, I've been saying, I've been trying to be positive, but you're like in the conscious level only. There are a lot of
Mm-hmm.
things going down here that you can't
Yeah.
see or perceive easily. So, how do you do that? Or,
Okay, I am always going to be an advocate for journaling shadow work to look at what the root cause is. Because
Mhm,
yes, you can change your mindset completely with affirmations. Because at the end of the day,
mhm,
affirmations are just thoughts. It's just implementing a new mindset, right?
yeah,
But depending on like the experience, you've had, for example, here around money, if you had like traumatic experiences, especially for those that grew up in poverty, it's
mhm,
difficult for them to all of a sudden start affirming, I'm going to be a millionaire. There is fear going to come up, obviously, because money makes them feel uncomfortable, because that's what
yeah,
they were taught. They were taught money is evil, money is bad, that they have to struggle around money. So all these subconscious fears can block you. They don't have to, but they're most likely going to. So you do need to
mhm,
create a level of comfort around money, owning a
Yeah.
lot of money and spending money, especially spending on things outside of the norm, like bills, for example,
Mm-hmm.
a
Yes.
clothing piece here, makeup there, or whatever it is, something for you that is not covering your needs. So
Mm-hmm.
you should still continue to affirm for the new mindset, but if you do feel like, for example, you guilt for this trip, probably it
Mm-hmm.
was one part of you that the thought of actually pursuing something that you want and then finally doing it is like, hold up,
Mm-hmm.
that's not what we usually do.
Yeah.
That's outside of our usual system and our cycle and pattern. It's just your brain trying to protect you from something unpredictable because the brain wants things to be predictable in case it needs to protect you. It's nothing more than that. So don't try to be too worried about it when you do feel like something coming up, like guilt, fear, or all
Mm-hmm.
whatever it is. Feel into it, address it,
Yes.
journal about it to like really get it out of your system, but don't let it stop you from actually wanting to pursue that.
Yeah. And I see that this is very, try to see your patterns during certain
Yeah.
things. Try to, because again, about trip for me, I remember like most of the time that I took a trip with my boyfriend, for example, I was always very stressed because I always wanted to be in control and control every single thing that we were going to do. I wasn't even able to like
Enjoy it,
um
right?
enjoy that much. I was like overstressed all the time. I was like, I have to do this, this, and that cannot go over that. And again, if I'm trying to, you know, bring into my life more peace, am I not like pushing away things that will give me stress? One of these things would be trips.
Mm-hmm.
So try to see the patterns of your, something that you want. Imagine yourself like really um receiving the things that you want. Imagine right
Yeah.
now, well, how you would react to this, you
Exactly,
know?
because the thing is, your mind will always try to self-sabotage, right? So you need to
Yes.
learn when does it kick in, when do you get triggered, so you can instantly interrupt it and then shift
Uh-huh.
right like into a more calm state. Most of the time it's just the nervous system being out of whack. So you do breath
Uh-huh.
work, EFT tapping, meditating, whatever helps. Punch a wall if that, I don't know, whatever
It
coping
can help,
mechanism
yeah.
that you need, but something to kind of like interrupt that thought in that moment because otherwise you're gonna
Mhm.
spiral, right?
Yeah.
And then you're gonna
And push it
start feeling,
away. Push what you
yeah,
want away.
it's not necessarily the pushing away, like in that moment happens
Mhm.
when you start thinking against your favor, right?
Yeah.
When you were
Mhm.
affirming, for example, let's say you're affirming for a specific number, and then you feel all of a sudden uncomfortable. Oh, but I shouldn't have the money. Oh, but maybe someone else needs it more than I do. Then you automatically, and one thought will lead to the next, and then it's just like going down the drain. So that's
Yeah.
why you need to really catch yourself right in the moment and then just be like, nope. Also, one thing that helped for me definitely also is starting affirming that anything I don't want never happens. So you're less
Mhm.
anxious about overthinking. If you're a chronic overthinker, because I used to be one, this really helps out because you're less likely going to fear about feeling the need to micromanage every little thought that you have, right? Because only what you decide on manifests. So if I spiral right now about like, oh my God, maybe an unexpected bill is gonna come in and that scares me.
Mhm.
That thought came, went away. I don't want it,
Oof.
so it's not gonna manifest. And
Mhm.
that really helped me out a lot.
Perfect.
So you can kind of like,
Mhm.
here's the thing. Since it's your reality anyways, your rules, you need to make your own rules,
Yeah.
right? So think about a little bit like what do I want to experience? What is true for me and what isn't true for me?
Mhm.
I think
Perfect.
that can help out a lot of people.
Oh, definitely. Mhm. Perfect.
Yes.
Nice. Okay. Something else about assuming?
Um, the only thing I can think of is that a lot of people think like assuming is so difficult. It's not. It's literally just deciding in that moment. It takes one
Yeah,
second.
assuming.
It's not
Yeah.
hard, but a lot of people are like, but how do I assume? Literally, right now, how you questioned that you can't assume correctly, that was an assumption. So, like,
Yeah.
literally,
Exactly.
for example, assume from now on that you're a money magnet. Just start with that, if you're scared about, like, am I going to assume correctly or am I gonna, like, I don't know where to start. You're a money magnet. That's it. That's your new story.
That's it.
Live by it. Like,
Exactly.
people
Oh,
overcomplicate
but I
things.
will sound the Lulu. Yeah, you're gonna
Yeah,
sound like
be
one,
the
but
Lulu. If that helps,
be the
if
Lulu.
thinking,
Yeah,
if you think like being the Lulu is what you need, then do it. At the beginning, you do need to think
exactly.
in that state because you're gonna be
Mhm.
like,
Definitely.
what you mean I can change my life with my thoughts? That's so crazy. Yes, it is because it does sound crazy, but it is. It's literally how you build everything around you.
It's crazy because it's not a reality. There are so many layers that our society makes us believe, and we have to take those layers and like, of course, you're gonna
Yeah, I
sound the
mean,
Lulu.
everything. Yeah, sorry, no, interrupt
No,
you.
no, go
No, but
ahead.
the thing is, the reason why a lot of people think like it's so weird that it's because it's easy. At the end of the day, it's so easy, right? But we think
Yeah.
that it needs to be hard because society made us believe that it has to be hard because otherwise, if we all, start living our lives like it's easy, then we can
Mhm.
all be living our best lives. And how will the government benefit from us, right?
No,
Because
no,
it's
no,
all
no, no. The
manipulation
system
and
will not like
brainwashing.
it. No, 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 no.
Exactly. I mean, already, like the witch hunt was literally all about
Yeah.
control. It was just
Yeah.
that. It wasn't because there were witches. No one gave a shit about that. It was about them
Yeah.
opening the eyes of other people, giving them other opportunities and paths.
Yeah. It's dangerous for the system.
Exactly.
They don't want us to have this type of
I
freedom
mean,
and mentality.
for example, like if we want to talk about like money wise, of course the government benefits from all of us being poor if we
Yeah.
subscribe to that. That's why a lot of people are struggling and poor. But also, since the pandemic, how many more new millionaires did we get and billionaires? A lot of people tripled their wealth because
Yeah.
everyone started to wake up being like, I can be rich, right? I mean, compared to like in the early
Yeah.
2000s, how many there were like not a lot of millionaires, billionaires even
Yeah.
less. And now there's so
Yeah.
many. Like, why shouldn't you be
Exactly.
part of it if you want to be a millionaire? Not everyone wants to be, but
Yeah, not everyone. They say they want, but important for us to have that mindset. Get a pretty like notebook. I have mine here, what I put all my assumptions,
oh,
and
it's
it's
so cute.
golden. It's
Yeah.
sparkly.
Oh my God, it
Put
matches so
that.
perfect.
What?
It's perfect because it's golden, for like money stuff.
Exactly. The results that I had with this, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Also, you gotta romanticize the
Guys, I
paper
kind
to believe.
of and write down things. Write down things, guys,
Yeah.
because oh my God, it can change so much. Like, I'm gonna have to share this to like see people see the possibilities, but like, all my previous relationship, I never said that I had a type. So I kind of, things flowed and then I started dating stuff like that. And then one day this woman tells me like it was kind of a friend of mine. She was in the same place where I used to work. And she said, "Oh, what you should do after I had broken up with my ex." She said, "Oh, there are two people that did this. And I think you should do it too. Like make a list of qualities of a person that you would like to meet, qualities that are important to you, values that are important to you. And I started doing that, and it was crazy because at the time I was using an app and I was sharing that with my cousin. And I started talking to two people. And after making the list, and then I shared with my cousin, and she said, "Oh, maybe you should apply more details, more connected to you." And then I did that once I filtered it more, because again, something that I was always like proud, I said, like, "Oh, I don't have a type. I don't care about that." But the thing is, it's not even about having a type itself, it's like filter, filter what is important for you. So I ended up filtering that as my cousin told me to do. And 2 days later, I was already meeting with my current boyfriend. 5 days later, we had started to date. And 11 months later, we moved together. So, guys,
Wait,
please
what? I
write.
didn't know that. That's news to me. The 11
Yeah,
people.
I think I didn't tell you. Yeah. Yeah.
No,
It was like, it
that's
was the
so.
pandemic. It was the pandemic. So it kind of helped because, like, we were always already with each other all the time, indoors all the time. So we didn't
Mhm.
like, oh, let's go to the movies. Let's go to, no, we
Yeah,
were like, so as I always say, like, we started like from the tough part, like living with each other, being with each other a long time. So, like, adapting. So, yeah, 11 months later, we moved to another city, stayed there for 2 years, and now we are here. So, and we are 2 days ago, we are like 5 years and a half together. That's
crazy.
wild. That's the longest I've ever been with someone, and that's wild for me. And please write down things, everything. Write about your dreams. What about what you feel? What about, what you want?
It's so
That words
important.
have so much power.
Yeah, because also think about it like you never know what you want until you write it down and you really sit down and think,
Exactly.
what is it? For
Uh-huh.
example, for me, I always knew like I want to be in the public face. I always, you know, little me
Uh-huh.
and teenage me was always like, you're gonna be famous. I don't know how, but you're gonna be
Deal with
famous.
it.
And but I
Yeah.
never knew like, okay, but what do I want to be? Do I want to be a dancer or do I want to be, I don't know,
Uh-huh.
maybe an actress or what? Or do you want to be a content creator when like YouTubers started to happen and all that? And
Yeah.
until the pandemic hit for me, and then I was like, I want to have my own business. When everyone was starting opening up
Yeah.
their online business or small business and all that,
Uh-huh.
I was like, I want that too. And then I started.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, it took
Yes.
like certain trials and errors to get where I am right now because I couldn't decide what I wanted. But
Uh,
uh, yeah, now I here I am,
But you took
literally.
the steps and you
Yeah,
did
because I
it
literally
anyways.
sat down and started to getting to know myself. Because during the pandemic, what else were you supposed to do?
Exactly.
Everything shut down. You only had the internet. I was recovering from like a burnout from the hairdresser apprenticeship that I was doing. So I was like, I need to get my mind and shit together because otherwise,
Yeah.
because I didn't know what I wanted after the hairdresser apprenticeship. I knew that I didn't want to continue being a hairdresser, but then also like
Uh-huh.
so many possibilities. I'm like, I can be anything now. What do I want?
Yeah.
And then I really had to sit down and start thinking and journaling and doing the shadow work and all that. And then, yeah,
Yeah, that's
for me, it
amazing.
was the having my own business, not being like literally tied to someone else.
Yeah, that's so important.
And that's
That's
also when I
amazing.
realized I want to be rich. I want to be a millionaire. So I was
Yeah,
like,
fair
okay,
enough. That's tied to it. Yeah.
we're gonna find a way how to get there. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
literally you guys have to write down shit
That's very
and
important.
also figure out like
And
where do you see yourself in 5 years? I know everyone hates that question, but you do have to ask yourself that because
Yeah.
When you realize with law of assumption that you can literally decide everything that you want and have things
Mhm.
move in your favor, if you know what you want, you can manifest it so much easier. And for those that are like, oh, but what if I change my opinion? Then you change your opinion, you change the
That's it.
manifestation. You're the creator. You can undo everything you don't want.
That's so important because people are like, oh, but I can't change my mind. Believe me, when I was like 5 years ago, when I started dating and I was in another city and I met my boyfriend, I was so clear that I wanted to go to a big city, move to an apartment that is gonna be fine, it's pretty and everything. I manifested that.
Hmm.
Like right when I started, like I was visiting the apartments and I saw a place that has a lot of statues, Greek statues, a lot of a beautiful garden, like. And when I entered their apartment and said, yeah, this is it. 2 years had passed, and then like, okay, we need to move. There were many things happening, but I also like changed my mind and said, no, I want to live in a house where I can have a yard, where I can have the pets that I want to have, and I want this house to be big and stuff like that. And it's crazy because like when I came here to visit the houses, I didn't see this one.
Oh,
And after a while, my friend said, "Oh, there is this one. Do you want me to go check for you?" And then I saw it. Through the video, I couldn't see how big it was until I got here. And it has high ceilings, something that I've always liked. It has a beautiful view. And again, like 3 years past that, I always thought I wanted to live in a big city apartment and that's it. Then I change it and it's fine. It's okay. Things can happen. Things can
exactly. It
flow.
does not have to be a fixed outcome. Like you don't have to
Yeah.
stay the same. You can change. I mean, you change as a person anyways, right? So what you
Yeah.
want and what you desire changes
Exactly.
too, right? So it's always, and again, like you can change anything. You don't have to stick with it.
Yeah. I think it's a thing about generation as well. We are very in the middle of our parents have had a very fixed type of life.
Yeah.
Like they bought a house, they stick there, they're still there
No,
nowadays, and
yeah.
that's
Also
it.
jobs.
They spent yeah, a long time in the same house, in the same job, so we kind of feel guilty when we change. So we have to acknowledge that as well, I think.
Yeah, one thing I want to give you guys along the path. I just talked with my friend about this, about like identities. That a lot of people hold on to a certain identity so hardcore that they don't let it go. That's something that you guys need to be able to do. You can shift your identity anytime you want. You don't have to be the same person. But you also don't have to identify with something that you don't want to identify with.
Girl, I was thinking about that. I swear to you, I was thinking before I said this that I said now, I said, oh, I need to talk about identity. I need to talk about identity, but I have to say this now. So,
See,
and then
we
you,
have thought
yeah,
transmission, literally real life moment in this moment.
yeah,
But yeah, it,
yeah.
it is. You don't have to stick with like something, you don't have to hold on to an identity. As people, we shift
Mhm.
identities constantly, anyways, right? I mean, I went from a total tomboy to the
Yeah,
most girly girl ever right now. I never thought I would be this type of girl that cares so much
yeah.
about my looks in the sense of like wearing dresses, well, I always wore makeup, but I guess just like more feminine. I never really identified with that my whole life because I always was a little bit more uh comfortable with a more masculine side of myself. But the
Okay,
identity shift needed to happen, and you guys don't have to be stuck with
exactly.
what you are at and what you are right now.
Yeah, that's so important. That's very, yeah. I would not like be like this as well. I was also a tomboy. I was like never, never, never. But yeah, here it is. And I have another example because again, I give a lot of examples too, but I think they can be quite helpful. When I was younger, I was a bit quiet. So I consider myself introverted
Hmm.
and I had this idea of myself. So when I started college, I loved like history, philosophy, but then I looked at those things and said, oh, I would need to be a teacher. I would never be a teacher because I'm introverted. My mom tried to be a teacher and she didn't like it. So possibly I wouldn't like it as well. This is very important because sometimes there are things that you think about yourself or maybe something related to parents and stuff like that that you think it translates to your reality as well. So many things. So, but then life happened. I became a translator, but then I had this opportunity to start being a teacher. It was very, when I thought about it, I was extremely nervous because I said, I'm introverted. I couldn't be a good teacher, stuff like that. At the time that I entered into a classroom, I started giving and teaching, giving classes and teaching people. It was like a whole new world for me. You know, I noticed how well I could speak. I noticed how extroverted I could be, like although I consider myself ambivert,
Mm-hmm.
but again, it's like you don't know yourself if you're constantly saying that you were acts. Like maybe you're too tied to something that you've heard too much when you were younger. If nothing of that had happened, maybe I would still consider myself like if I didn't connect to anything and stuff like that. But possibly I would still be saying that I am introverted, I couldn't teach, I couldn't talk properly, stuff like that. And it wasn't the truth, like because I had so many things from my past saying like, oh, Camilla doesn't talk too much. And there was something that one of my ex said, and that's the only thing that I will bring from him to my life is like, you normally don't say things that don't need to be said. Like, you don't say useless things. That's why you
Mm-hmm.
don't talk all the time. So that made sense. But again, try to be careful with what you say about yourself.
I think this
And the
is
things that you've heard a lot since you were a child maybe can affect a lot.
that could be actually right now a very good segment into the assumptions tagline,
Mm.
basically about like or like beliefs,
Hmm.
what you've heard and what you constantly experienced as a kid around money.
Hmm.
This that's mostly what everyone has to go through in the beginning when they shift the money situation. About like,
Hmm.
what have your parents been saying about money? What have your grandparents been saying about money? What's the family history around money? I mean, I don't know how
Yeah.
many times I've heard, oh, our family is poor. And I was like, what? I mean, like generational wise, yes, we do come from like a poor family back then.
Hmm.
Right now, you
Yeah.
cannot consider yourself poor because you're not struggling putting food on the table like maybe like two generations earlier, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
But I think like a lot of you guys need to start looking into your old, like your belief, like literally get a pen and paper and sit down and think about everything that comes to your mind around money. You will write a whole ass negative list. I can guarantee you. Unless you grew up with a very good family with very good money beliefs, then I don't know what you're doing here. You're already doing everything right. But
Maybe because they like us.
yeah, maybe too. Maybe you will still learn something. I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying you wouldn't, but most of the people don't have the amount of money that they want because of the assumptions that they have coming from their
Yeah.
family. Because when I did that exercise, I realized I have no stories or assumptions around money that I developed. They were all from my parents. And then I was like, whoa, wait, basically I can say
What a
anything.
great heritage. We can.
Yeah, oh my God. I mean, like, that's like, thank you for that inheritance, you know? But literally, it's then when you realize, like, okay, what do I believe about money? What are my
Mm.
experiences? And then for me, it was literally realizing I didn't have any. So I was like, wait, I can literally have a complete new experience and make my own
Yeah.
assumptions. Yeah, I mean, obviously, most of the stuff that I say to myself around money right now is what I heard from other people, like the
Mhm.
positive assumptions now. But I was like, that can be my new assumptions now, like my own beliefs. And literally, they are now because I've been implementing them for over a year now. But yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
I don't know. What is something, for example, that you notice that your family is
Oh,
always,
it's the
I mean,
same
like not the
thing.
usual stuff, but I mean, like what's something that really stood out to you? I don't know. Do you have some? I mean, for me right now, I would have to think too.
Uh, well, yeah, I mean, the idea of being poor, it's the same as you know,
Yeah,
like two
super
generations
normal.
ago, people were struggling a lot, really. There were terrible history stories about, how tough it was. And like really this mindset still goes on, like
Hmm.
not as bad as before, but like, oh, you're poor. Oh, we don't have this, we don't have that. And it's crazy because at least my parents, they are so proud. And I see like people trying to help. And it's very they are very dependent on a few things. And at the
Hmm.
same time, whenever people like try to help in a very good way and healthy way, they kind of like, no, I don't want that. No, I don't want that.
Hmm.
Because it's very contradictory, because like, but it makes all sense, like they still try to be proud and say, oh, I don't need this, but at the same time they need, and they have this difficulty of receiving,
Yeah, that's
like.
always a theme when family
Mhm.
members or like your family grew up around like a poverty mindset that they cannot receive.
Yeah.
I'm not even talking about like money. It's even
Hmm.
sometimes it's also around like gifts, receiving
Yeah.
gifts.
Yeah.
When it's their
Uh-huh.
birthday, you give them something and they can kind of like become bashful or like shy in a way.
Yeah.
Even I think also like towards affection at this point, even like, when you show them affection, because
Mhm.
it's also like they grew up in lack, not only around money, but also like love, basically, because it was tough times. I mean, like for example, my grandparents, they grew up or were kind of like born during the Civil War in Spain, right? So
Mhm.
the country
Yeah.
was shit anyways. Like there was nothing.
Yeah.
I get that they grew up because of that with a poverty mindset. I mean, it's difficult to grow
Mhm.
up and be like positive and all that. I get it, but
Yeah.
um, it's no
Because
excuse
we
to
have
then,
layers, right? We have
but
layers.
it's
We
still
have
no
to
excuse.
eat, we have to survive, we have to, yeah.
Exactly. I mean, for example, my grandma started working at age 10, and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And she
Mhm.
it brings it up. And I'm like, yeah, I mean, it sucks, but what's the point of like reliving the past? Like right
Yeah.
now, you have the money that you can enjoy. I mean, at least
Hmm.
if you
And she
already work.
doesn't.
No, she doesn't. So she doesn't really. Well, she's also 92. So, I mean, she reached a
Oh.
certain age. But yeah, I
Mm.
mean, receiving is definitely also something that you need to start practicing. I used to hate receiving money as a gift for a while. And now I love it. I love it so much.
Please.
There's no better gift than give me money. Like, I mean, like, obviously I like
Yeah.
other stuff too, but I'm like, yes.
Hmm.
But it's
Yeah.
also something that you need to practice because you get uncomfortable around money. And when you start receiving more money, it will challenge you, it will trigger you.
Yeah, exactly. And at the
But it,
same time, like I said, we want more, and then when we finally receive, we're like, oh, no, but I don't feel comfortable. Like maybe, yeah, you're being the blockage
yeah,
from you to receive more.
that's why
So yeah.
maybe sometimes I personally find it easier to work with like my work, like my way upwards.
Yep.
You know, like I said, I want to be a millionaire. Does it seem realistic right now for me to start? Like, I mean, I do say like the affirmation, I'm a millionaire, but like amount of money that I want to make monthly, I'm not saying like a number in the millions right now because it
Yeah.
makes me uncomfortable. Gotta be honest, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm gonna work my
Yeah.
way up there, maybe like a couple of years,
Yeah.
I don't know. But
Yeah.
receiving money and how to handle it is also part of the process. Because how many people won the lottery and then lost the money within like a couple of years
Yeah.
because of their thoughts that we're scared of losing that money or for some reason like having to spend it or whatever it is. And if you don't work, again, going back to the shadow work stuff, if you don't work through that, you will in repelling, and I hate saying that word because probably some people right now are thinking like, well, what's the point then? But it really depends on your upbringing. If you had traumatic
Yeah.
experiences around money, you need to do a little bit of some healing there too to keep it.
Yeah.
A lot of people can manifest a lot of stuff, but they can't sustain it.
Yeah. And then they burn everything, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you want to actually enjoy it for many years to come. There's also no point in like just like manifesting one sum of money and then never ever again because they then, I don't know, whatever assumption they
Yeah.
have, like, oh yeah, I lost it, so I don't want a lot of money again. So you're basically
Mm.
shooting yourself into the foot.
Exactly. Exactly. It's not because you block yourself because you couldn't handle it. You shouldn't be able to do
Yeah,
this, but
I think like as
yeah.
long as you prepare for it and do the shifts and mindset work that you need. I mean, for
Mm.
example,
Yeah.
me, I do like the shadow work or just regular journaling prompts around money. But I also do EFT tapping around money because I have a
Hmm.
lot of suppressed emotions probably in my body around money because
Hmm.
sometimes my parents shamed me for spending my own money
Yeah.
and which is normal. They grew up in poverty, so obviously now like a part of them can get triggered, which is
Hmm.
so interesting. Now it's changed. My mom used to be mostly like that. Now whenever I buy something, she wants me to do a haul. She's like, and
Really?
when me and my brother go shopping, she asks like, and what did you buy? And then she wants to see everything and she gets excited. Like,
Oh,
see, like the differences, like you really need to work on your mindset, guys.
yeah,
It's not only you that shifts, it's everything, even
it
people,
is. Yeah,
which we can talk
I can
about
see.
like in the love episode that we're gonna do about like people show up the way you tell them to. The same goes for money too, but we can
Oh my
include
God,
that here
yeah.
too. But
Yeah. I noticed that I talked about a bunch of relationships already, but yeah, we're going to dive deeper
it's
into
basically the
that
same
topic.
concept. I mean, money and
Yeah.
love is the same concept. At the end of the day, it's decide what you want, stick with it, keep telling yourself the new story, work,
Mm.
heal, whatever it is that you need to. But it's all the same, basically. It's always the same
Yeah,
concept for manifesting. It's just different themes. Some want more love, some
exactly.
want money. I want both.
That, yeah, we both wouldn't be bad. I mean, yeah. Uh, so many
Mo-
things.
Money
Mm.
success stories.
Money success stories.
I think that would be
Yeah.
perfect to end it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Oh, let's see. every time it's crazy. It's crazy. And I feel that it's like exercise for me. There are times that are more focused about exercising, and of course, the beginning is very uncomfortable, but when you like are
Mhm.
really consistent, you can get a lot of results. The same is about manifestation, and when you are like really focused and really relaxed on what you want, and things just start to develop and open more, like I was very stressed the last month, I think. And I decided to say, like, you know what? I'm going to meditate. I'm going to work out. I'm going to do everything focus about myself. I'm not going to think about, like, oh my God, am I going to be able to receive X amount of money? No, I'm going to focus on myself, pour all the energy on myself, pour all the energy on the work that I want to do. And not in the, again, not in the hustle way.
Mhm.
People are coming naturally. So, and it's like I'm not like I've already told you that like how stressed I was last month. Like,
Yeah.
will somebody come here to talk and see if they want to start something, or they want the tarot reading, they want to the Reiki practice, like they're coming. And I'm not like, are they going to really do it or will they not? Like, no, I know that things will be good. I'm so in peace with myself. And there's, unfortunately for me, but like,
Mhm.
there's no other way to get more money, like you're doing yourself, you're pouring the energy into yourself instead of
Mhm.
pouring the energy. So all the success stories that I had was exactly like that. The list about my boyfriend, it was exactly like that. I just wrote it down,
And let it go.
didn't thought about it.
Yeah. Because you kind of like already accepted it as your truth, you know. That's a lot
Exactly.
of people
It
think
will
when,
come.
yeah, a lot of people have the issue when they think like because of all the manifestation gurus, the tens and thousands there are out there, everyone's like, oh, you need to detach, right? And they're like, oh,
Mhm.
okay, so not think about like my manifestation. That's what they think like that means. It's not. It's like you did. You decided what you wanted, and that was it.
Mhm.
That was your truth. And then that's how you let go, basically. It's literally sticking with it, you know. And you
Yeah,
decided
yeah.
that you're gonna focus on yourself and the rest is gonna um work its way out, you know, on its own. And then it
Basically.
literally unfolded the way you wanted it to.
Yeah, because like I got into a place that no matter what happens, I want to feel good about myself. I want to feel healthy. I want to feel mentally stable. I want to feel like spiritually elevated or like clean or,
High,
high vibe.
basically. Yeah.
What?
High, basically. Spiritually high.
Yeah, yeah, that's it. I said, no matter what happens, again, I didn't focus like, am I going to be able to pay my bills? Am I going to be able to make more money? I'm going to focus on myself, no matter what happens. And
Mm-hmm.
then, because like, when you find like, I think when you are finally in the state of like, I matter, my health matter, my mental health and my spiritual vibration matter, no matter what happens,
Mm-hmm.
then is when you finally let go. I noticed that for me is always like that.
Also, when you focus on yourself and take care of yourself, you become automatically so magnetic for
Yeah,
opportunities to just basically glue themselves to you and be like, pay attention
it's
to
it's
me.
crazy. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
crazy. And I had this intuition like because for me I really didn't like I, I tried to not say that. Now I say that I love working out. But before it wasn't like that,
Yeah.
like definitely, like during school, I always try to escape. physical education classes. I was like that. I was that type of person. So I never had a connection with that. But it's been some months that I said, if I constantly work out, if I constantly work on my body, I don't know what happens, but it shifts the way that I feel about myself, the way that I do things that I do.
Yeah,
And
because
it's true, whenever I pour a lot of energy, and especially me that had a tough time related to body movement. I was
mhm.
too in my head, reading all the time, like it shifts. It's crazy and it shifts. So,
That is, self-care is the best way to kind of like put yourself on the pedestal, and also when you have a good self-concept, right?
yeah.
That is the basis for everything, you know.
Mhm.
Well, what do you assume about yourself and your life does help in my eyes. Like I, for example, never focused on self-concept work around manifesting, or like me as a person in general about like feeling good. And I started this year. Yeah, I think. And I have to say, this year, even though I did like some things took too long because I was my own enemy, still things were so good, right? It could have been way
Yeah.
worse if I didn't work on my self-concept. But yeah, I mean, one thing that you guys always can do is when you do get a little bit anxious, do something nice for yourself to bring you back in the present moment.
Exactly.
Is there
And
is
don't
there
wait
like,
for you to use that good clothes, like good
yeah, oh my God,
perfume.
live now. Do the things that you
Yeah,
want. Don't postpone it. I mean, literally, you're the
exactly.
main character. Live like it. What I
Please.
wanted to ask, is there like a one money manifestations success story where like you're so like you still to this day can't believe that manifested?
I
Like
think
you're
it was when I finally booked a trip to myself. It was the first time that I was getting a flight. Um, but again, it was very specific because at this point I was kind of needing the money. It
mm-hmm.
wasn't like, oh, I want to do this today because yes, I want to do this month because yes. But I was needing that money. And out of nowhere, it came, an opportunity came for a translation. And it would, be so tiring because there were a lot of things and stuff like that. And I kind of like, they said, oh, like a week before they closed the deal, they said, oh, we are going to actually want like, I don't know, like one page of something with very few lines. And um, I don't know exactly what happened, but like they would have to pay me like 3 or 4 times the price of it. It was crazy because like I was expecting to earn this, to do a
Mm-hmm.
lot of work, and then they said like, "Oh, you're gonna do this, but then you're going to receive like this," and that would cover like maybe the
Everything.
half of the price of the trip or something like that. And like, how? How? So yeah, I think like when it comes to my mind like that, I think it's something that it was very random.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
That's cool.
And yeah, yeah, yeah. But basically, I think that's it. Like I said, I had more like focus on, oh, the type of relationship, the type of place that I want to live, the type of,
Mm-hmm.
instead of the number itself.
Okay.
But this is me. What about you?
I'm the complete opposite. I, for example, like monthly income, I have like a minimum income and a maximum income. Like that, this is the
Uh-huh.
lowest that I want to earn, and then the highest is a little bit higher.
Uh-huh.
And also like I'm very like I like lists. I love lists. I have like a goal list, a monthly list. So I have like
Oh my God.
subscriber
Yeah.
number, sales number, like how much products I want to sell and all that. Can be a
Oh, I remember I
downfall.
saw your list is on Notion, so
Oh yeah, my manifestation list about like everything that
yeah,
manifests. Like
that's
October was
amazing.
crazy. I always had to scroll down so far to add a new thing. It's insane like how
Uh-huh.
quickly things are manifesting. But I'm very number driven and I gotta be honest, it was a little bit. I had some months where I had a little bit difficulty where I was like, oh, but I only came close to the number, right? But here's the thing. What I realized, I was like, okay, you know what? That is also my issue. That I can just,
Mm-hmm.
start assuming and affirming that I'm gonna hit that number, and I started doing that
Mm-hmm.
this month. And I don't know what's happening this month, but the money is coming in way, way quicker. Um,
Yeah,
remember when
that's
I
great.
did like the 25K challenge?
Yeah.
I got okay, so my recent what the fuck money success story was when I wrote to the perfume brands asking them if they would be interested for a collaboration, right?
Yeah.
And they agreed and all that, and they said, let me talk with the team about like what exactly we can do. And I was like, oh, I hope like they pay me like 400 euros,
Yeah.
right? And then
Uh-huh.
she got back to me that same day saying like, okay, so here's the deal. What do you think about like a 3 month ambassadorship, like where I basically represent them for like 3 months, right, in
Uh-huh.
videos? And they want to then for me to make like the short videos on YouTube, which are 3 minutes long. And at that time, the pricing, my rates were 150 for each one, right? So in
Uh-huh.
total, that was 450 euros. And I was like, okay,
Girl,
damn, exactly the same number and even more than I wanted to.
even
And I
more.
was
Yeah.
like, wow. And yeah, so the 25K challenge for those that are listening, I decided at, when was it? The end of October, right? That I want to play around
Yeah.
with the number 25,000. And I was like, okay, let me for a whole week saturate. Saturation is just repeating affirmations for, I don't know
Mm-hmm.
how long you want to, for 25,000 in 1 week. Was the goal for me to have those 25,000 in 1 week? Not really. For me, it was more to see what limiting beliefs come up, where would I self-sabotage,
Yeah.
and get comfortable with the number. Obviously, 25K in
Mm-hmm.
1 week sounds amazing. I would have
Yeah.
appreciated that. Was not the point
Yeah.
though. I literally got my dossier payment from October this week,
Okay.
when it usually takes around like 3 weeks to get here,
Oh.
3 to 4 weeks usually. They pay you out the day, like they send the payment the day that you post the video. But the
Yeah.
transaction and all that takes a while to get to the website where you have the account to receive the money.
Mhm.
They sent it the day out that I posted it, and like
Mhm.
1 week later, I had the payment in the account after I finished the challenge, and I was like, what?
See, it's coming.
And yeah, I mean, like those 25K are like now coming in bit by bit, which
Yeah.
for me is okay. But those 25K are
Yeah,
gonna hit
because
my bank account before the year ends,
eh,
and I'm like,
that's amazing. And again, you see, like, you put it there without having a lot of stress and to have a good map on how you work, how you
yeah,
feel, how you perceived, like, and then you learn with that, and then next year you do other things, and yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing. We get wiser with the process.
oh yeah, oh my God.
So
I
that's
I have some
amazing.
specific money goals that I like literally a year ago that I put on my vision board for this year. And I was
Yeah.
looking at it, I'm like, I'm nowhere near there. But again, like it was my own fault. But again, like things are
Mhm.
shifting so quickly right now. I wouldn't be surprised if I hit them before the year ends. But
Exactly.
like that's the thing.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's not really only the money. Like when you firm for money, that like obviously sometimes the money comes in physically or like a payment comes out of nowhere, whatever. Sometimes it's also aligned action to do
Mhm.
something for more money. In my case, it was literally a whole new business that I'm starting right now, too,
Mhm.
where I was like, this is going to be very, very big. And I think a big chunk of that money is going to come through there.
For sure.
And yeah, so sometimes you have to listen when it says, like, oh, an idea. Maybe I should do that. Or maybe I should reach out to that person and tell them, how are you? It's been a while since we talked. And then all of a sudden, I don't know, they sent you a check. You never know. It can come from
You
literally
never know.
anywhere.
Exactly. Go follow your intuition as well.
Yeah, basically, like don't, it's be comfortable with the number, do the inner
Yeah.
shift that you need to do, but also listen, because sometimes again, like, and you will feel when it is an aligned action, it's this little ink,
Mhm.
little feeling that's telling you, go there, write that person, or I don't know.
And also adapt to your own reality. You see, like you go very much with numbers. I go very much with, I
Yeah.
don't know,
And what,
pictures in my head. How,
and the
what
thing
do I
is,
think about it?
the way, like, for example, the way you manifest works for you.
Hmm.
The way I manifest, maybe it doesn't work for you, That's also like everyone needs to figure out a little bit on like what is your own formula. I like saturating with affirmations. Other people like scripting,
Hmm. Yeah.
where it's just writing and it works for
Yeah.
them. You need
Exactly.
to kind of like also figure out a little bit what works for you. Listen to
Hmm.
other people to get inspiration
Yes.
and maybe like also like a guidance a little bit, but also have your own discernment, where you
That's so
don't
great.
blindly follow everything someone else is doing.
Yeah.
That was my issue with manifesting. I could have manifested so many things already if I would have just like
Yeah.
started my own way of thinking a little bit and not like
Hmm.
listen to all these gurus out there because it made it more complicated for me. And I'm like, but I'm doing what they're
Yeah,
saying.
you
I
have
am
like
doing
10 people
manifesting.
saying at
Yeah,
the same time, and then like, oh, but this manifests like this manifests like that. So yeah,
yeah.
you
I
gotta
mean,
try, like you have
yeah.
a whole lot of time. So
My
try.
favorite quote is fuck around and find out.
Basically, that's it. And I think that's
It
a great
is.
phrase to finish the
Yeah,
podcast.
right? Because I'm like, I
Yeah.
made my own rules and I manifested so much. When sometimes I read through that list, I'm like, can't believe this is my life right now. I used to struggle a couple of years ago with
Yeah.
manifesting and just
Yeah.
almost kind of like resenting manifesting in a way because I was like doing the
Hmm.
things, but nothing was really happening until I
Yeah.
realized like maybe it is supposed to be easy, and not all so
Hmm.
complicated the way everyone else is making it out to be. And around money too. I was like, why am I complicating it so much?
It's just a tool.
Exactly. It's just a tool. We got to
Yeah.
remind ourselves every single day.
Yeah. It's but it's good. It's a part of the process.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I think
So
we talked
that's
about
it.
everything, right?
Yeah, basically.
I
That
hope you
was
guys learned
great.
a lot from it. And if not, if you have still questions, leave them down below and we will answer
Exactly.
them and help you out. And I don't know what the next topic is going to be. I will edit it in the video so you have a little bit of a preview if we already know by then.
Yeah, yeah,
But yeah,
good, good.
also let us know what you thought about this little collab, this little
Please.
podcast. We want to hear your opinions. We have some topics that we've written down about what we're going to talk about, but what do you want to hear about?
That's very
Suggestions,
important.
please. Exactly. We're open for that. Yeah,
Exactly.
I think this is it.
Yeah, so thank you very much, guys. I hope you
Thank you,
appreciate
guys.
all of this.
Yeah. Start up
Yeah,
something
exactly.
until the next time.
Bye-bye.
Bye.